Hello there, you guys. Somebody called and woke me up out of my sleep. Isn't this something? I guess there are people that never sleep. I was going to do a review on Justice for Doubt video. I'm going to see who's up early with me. It's 6 o'clock. Hey, Miss Clarinetta. Hey, Gigi. Clarinetta, Holiday Tracks. Hey, Janice. Clarinetta said she's been up since 4. Somebody just called and woke me up. Just called and woke me up. Hey, oh, Imperfect Angel. Okay, she said she didn't. Okay. Hey, Sea Shine. Lovely lady. How is everybody doing this morning? Ooh. Ooh. Oh. Ooh. Yeah, I like to stretch. Where are my glasses at? As a matter of fact, where are my glasses? I need to make sure I put them in my purse. There my glasses go. I'm so tempted to order me some people I like Coach stuff, and the styles that they've been putting out. I've been loving. It's some clear Coach glasses that I want to get, but I just bought me some glasses. And they're putting out new purses. I was like, oh, purse is so beautiful. I like their leather. I like soft, real, 100% leather. I love Coach. I got I got lucky around Christmas and got me a Coach leather coat that was on sale. I think the regular price was $6.99. I got it half price. I was like, yes. And the leather is so soft. It's so soft. Anyways, let's what's up, Miss Diane? Ooh, Y'all, I forget I do. Somebody woke me up. I supposed to do my prayer. Y'all, I do my prayer line at 7. Maybe we'll get a chance to do it this morning. Maybe not. Oh, I forget. Maybe we may just do it on here. I may just pray on here at the end of this video, okay? But what we've been praying for and meditating on and in the praying line is prosperity and healing for the body. And I'm gonna tell y'all, prosperity those prayers are real. I'm gonna tell y'all what happened. I had a client that decided that they wanted to end their service. And I was like, cool. I was like, well, you have to pay for this month. They didn't want to pay. Even though they had gone all the way, like they was already late. I was like, wow, contractually, you got to pay. So I was like, dog, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go and get a lawyer to make them honor their contract. Probably going to be out of more than what they pay, but it's just but anyways, it's the principle of it. So how about we started praying on the prayer line and all of that, and the person reached out to me last Friday, and was like, you can come get your check. The check here, you can come on and get it. We're gonna pay you. We're gonna pay you half with a check, half cash. I said, okay. And so then when I got there, they was like, you know what? We're probably gonna start back doing business with you in May. I was like, oh, okay. I'll see how I had given it up to God. I had given it up to the Lord. I'm telling you. And then there was another financial breakthrough. And so I've been doing some work on, I had gotten a little rusty because I had not been doing it on like finding like loans and grants because it's really dried up, right? So I've been talking to this person. He was like, oh, yeah. Because he do them every day, but he want all the business, right? Even though I've helped him. So how about he had been saying, I'm going to send you the updated list. I was like, okay. He was like, I'm going to send you the updated list of where they're really giving out the lenders, the government lenders. I was like, oh, okay. Was giving me the runaround. How about just this morning, I got an email and he sent me the updated list. You see, I had just given it up to the Lord. And I was like, dog, anything I know I'll be sharing with him to try to help him and anybody, really. But then I get it this morning after I had given it up. We had been praying about it. I got another financial breakthrough, child. My daughter's father, I guess he gonna owe me until he die, okay? But he worked little jobs because he really been sick, right? He done got him a woman. I'm glad he got him one, okay? But I don't know why I guess she helped him to file his taxes. And so normally, like all these years, like the check has always been direct deposit, like $27 and all of this. So my mom would call me and was like, you got a check at my house for child support. I was like, oh, okay, what is it? The $27? How about it's $1,400? I was like, oh my God. Wow. So anyways, you guys, when you start praying for prosperity and stuff, like for God to add, and we're going to start praying for God to add large amounts of money. Like 1,400 is cool. The little fourth that, they owe me that. But we're going to start praying for like large sums of money, like hitting the lottery and being multi-millionaires. It can happen if you believe it. and you come into agreement. Don't let no hindering spirits. We don't want no hindering spirits on our praying line. We come against that. Get on there with a spirit of expectancy. Expect it, and it will be added unto you. Okay. Anyways, you guys, we want to do a review on Justice for Dow. Shout out to my daughter's dad, though. Okay. Shout out to him. I'm glad. I guess maybe he want to get his life together. He had been sick. Let me say this. I'm gonna say a prayer for him too at the end of this. He, I don't put him through hell, okay? Because I put him through hell his whole life because he didn't do right by his daughter. So I dog walked him with the justice system. But I'm so happy that I've grown past that, and I guess he's getting past that too because he loves, he. Anyways, well, anyways, let's go and get into the video because I have to ask God to give me a spirit of forgiveness. I don't like nobody that don't treat my kids right. Now she buying him turkey sandwiches and shit. Hell. Woo. All right, you guys. So Justice for Dolph. That's right. We're touching and agreeing. And y'all gonna have to pray for me to give me a heart of forgiveness. Because see, I'm very loyal. And so when people betray me, it takes a lot for me to trust people. So when people betray me, it really cuts me deep. And so I never forgive them. Because I'm like, you'll never get close to me to get to do me again. And that's how I've been my whole life. Anyways, you guys, let's look at Justice for Dolph unveiled Mr. Cold, y'all. Justice for Dolph unveiled Mr. Cold. Okay, so let's look at it.
Okay, so we go again.
I ain't gonna even lie. I really thought Mr. Cold was the guy at the beginning of this video.
Okay, so we go again.
I thought that man standing there, I really thought that man that was standing there all that time with Mr. Cole. And I was like, maybe his last name is Cole. And I ain't gonna lie. Somebody had reached out to me and was like, I think Mr. Cole's name is Bobby Cole, Cole. I was like, oh, really? Okay. And I ain't gonna even tell no lie. It was a law enforcement officer that said that. I don't know who no Bobby Cole is. All right, you all, let's get into it.
Too deep in the south. That's what it is. I'm gonna go. Should I let the cat out the bag right quick? Niggas, man, I got my nigga quit in the building, man. You know what I'm saying? Memphis 10 in the building. Should I go and let the cat out the bag right quick on these niggas? Then I went and got me a fit, and you can catch me in Memphis with Quinn. I told y'all this flip time, and she told me. I get it poppin' with Shawty. She hold my Glock and Safari. When we chillin', the bip is cloudy, and they can't do nothing about it. And I let her run out my plays, and I got my gun on the stage, and her reel have down to her back, and she ain't rockin' no lace. She wet, bit, jets. And I got away with these words, and I used to play with these birds, and I've been going viral like 5B. I murked the pussy, it's a body.
I don't know if that's fun.
And I fuck with people that grind, man. I fuck with people that handle their business. I fuck with people who got the initiative to go ahead and work. I don't like associating myself with lazy people or people who don't respect.
I was trying to get away from that song.
City, man. Fucking with Marcus Stoney, man. And I fuck with people that grind, man. I fuck with people that handle their business. I fuck with people who got the initiative to go ahead and work. I don't like associating myself with lazy people or people who don't respect the culture of music. You know what I'm saying?
Tonight on the menu, we are serving.
I ain't gonna tell no story. Quet was hanging with Lil Flip like that, even like that back in the day. They had him hanging around. Quet must have really been knocking folks down for them because they kept like a whole lot of rappers would keep little dudes like Quet around. You would always see them with one little dude that was pretty quiet that would be hanging around. And I guess I see now. I didn't see then. I see now that's the shooter. Okay.
The most explosive video in the United States drug trafficking and distribution history, covering one of the biggest legends that ever played the game. Everybody has at some point heard of the Hall of Famers like Craig Petty's, Frank Matthews, Big Meech, the real Rick Ross, not that sloppy fraud rapper, and so on. However, nobody has ever heard of the real ghost, the real legend and real boss. Real giver with good heart, who I personally nicknamed Mr. Cold as a wordplay on his real nickname, and because that dude is cold with it what he was actually doing, and who he was tied in with. Tonight we are breaking the internet in half and rewriting chapters in the history books of United States' biggest traffickers, and introducing a new name to the Hall of Fame exclusive club. We are about to show you who was Michael Jordan of this shit, without who there would be no story of Craig Petty's. If this is the first time you hear of the name Mr. Cold, that means you've been watching all them goofy, so-called big channels. We already mentioned Mr. Cold in 4 to 6 of our public and private videos. If you are not familiar with them, right after this video, I need you to start with the Memphis Crew, about his organization that I also named personally and rebranded to who they are now, and how Govan crossed him for goofy fake gangsta and fake wannabe Craig Petty's. Ho Gotti. After the Memphis Crew, check the video on how he paid for Govan's lying-ass attorney. And finally, check out my original video on Big Juke, where we claim being true or false, that he is the person Govan begged on his knees to lend him more money, so he could knock off Big Juke and get away with Dolph's murder, because his life and freedom depended on another famous Memphis tattle tell Big Juke. Don't believe none of that fake shit Gotti talking about we don't break, we don't fold. Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, meet one and only Mr. Cold. Congratulations to Hernandez Govan. Mr. Cold's real name is Roderick Kelly from Memphis, Tennessee, better known in the streets as Hot Rod or Hot, one of the best to ever do it. Justice for Dolph has been keeping his identity to himself for years, trying to protect him despite he kind of being the reason that Rat Govan is not doing life in prison. Why did I decided it was the time to break the story on Hot Rod and shut down all them goofy big channels while taking a joy of chess-mating Govan? He would remain private until I found out what certain clowns who he helped before are planning to do to him, his story and legacy. Not only to him, but his right-hand man who will remain masked for now. I will try to not tell his story.
Okay. I guess we have to stop it and not play it all the way through and then start it back up. You all make sure y'all hit the like button for me, okay? Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe.
Story, but it is important to know he is a real giver and made so many big and small people in Memphis with his generous investments and believing in people. Aside helping real positive people, he has also invested significant amount of money into Govan, Justin Johnson, and Trella Records. He believed in the dream Govan sold him before crossing him. Hot Rod was also the first investor in another Memphis legend, Mr. Ian. Hot Rod even put Craig Petty's on the game and linked him with his own plug Edgar Valdez, Villarreal, better known as La Barbie, without who Craig would be in prison doing time for breaking into cars and selling petty marijuana, like Govan be saying. That is part of the story they are also trying to
Lord have mercy.
exclude from their upcoming project.
This is for
They will try to
hilarious.
make it seem like he and his right-hand man are just some Craig's flunkies when they were the real bosses and plugs of the Memphis crew. For all them drug trafficking channels, I am very sorry to tell you, but La Barbie has always been Hot's plug.
Hey, Edward.
If you want to know how they met and how Roderick put Craig in the whole operation, make sure you stay tuned in with our channel. Shout out to Mr. Cold, the real Hall of Famer of drug trafficking. Now we are about to get into his criminal record and cover snitching allegation to chess mate goofies who will try to run with it to tarnish his name. If we do it, their whole plan will fall apart. Trust me, Mr. Cold, I know what I am doing. And I found you by myself. Nobody wanted to give me your name or a picture. Nobody told on you. To us, don't worry. We are just something else over here. Let's get into the proof and address the snitching accusations. According to the Shelby County Portal, Roderick's criminal career goes back as far as between 1991 to 1994, where he got caught selling drugs. Around the same years, Craig got caught as a juvenile with a sawed-off shotgun, crack, and attempted murder. Both of them transitioned from these local crimes to operating a massive drug trafficking organization beginning in the mid-1990s. To make things clear for the goofies, we are not downplaying Craig's achievements. I am talking about drug operation achievements, not stupid murders. We are simply trying to tell the missing piece of Craig's own story by making sure the most important character is included in the story, who really was the first one to have that crazy ass plug La Barbie. Let's read together now parts of paperwork, how that operation functioned, where you can really see who was on the receiving end of drugs from Mexican cartels before further sharing it with Craig and other Memphis crew members and leaving leftovers for my favorite Memphis snitch, Hernandez Govan. On December 3rd, 1998, a tractor-trailer with approximately 1,220 pounds of marijuana was apprehended by Texas law enforcement authorities while traveling from Texas to Memphis, Tennessee. The driver and occupant of the tractor-trailer agreed to cooperate with the authorities by delivering the marijuana as planned, thereby leading the authorities to other individuals involved in the scheme. When the marijuana was delivered in Memphis, 6 individuals...
Okay, you Cypress, what you talk about? What's dead? He said Dolph, death, and the cross that led to Juke. Oh my God. This stuff dead. What's dead, Cypress? Okay.
were arrested at the scene. Roderick Kelly, Joel Villegas, Gilberto Fernandez, David Soto, Rolando Lopez Jr., and Gilberto Garcia. Kelly's role was as purchaser of the marijuana. Villegas was the seller, and the other 4 suspects were the loaders, who transferred the marijuana from the tractor-trailer to a van owned by Kelly. Although both the van and the marijuana were recovered by the authorities, the driver of the van, alleged to be Henry Kane, defendant, escaped from the scene without arrest. During its prosecution of defendant on the Tennessee indictment, The government introduced evidence through the testimony of Roderick Kelly that defendant agreed to be Kelly's partner in the marijuana distribution business in October of 1997. TR 145. Kelly testified that this partnership operated on a continuous basis from October of 1997 until the arrest in Memphis on December 3rd, 1998. TR 145, 156. The operation involved weekly shipments, and defendant was paid by Kelly on a weekly basis. TR 156. The government also offered testimony from numerous witnesses about large sums of money belonging to Kelly and defendant that police officers found on various occasions. The above evidence was in addition to developing in detail the events of December 3rd, 1998, TR 161 to 67. Providing insight into the scope of the activity that was placed before the jury in the trial on the Tennessee indictment. The government ended its closing by stating, Mr. Kane, sick, was a long-term participant in this drug conspiracy, and he's responsible for the charges in this case. TR 288, emphasis added. Basically, if you were paying attention, the Mexicans got caught before coming to meet Kelly. They told on him and set up the entire police operation. For that reason, Hot turned tables on them and testified of their partnership. The plan of these goofies to tell the story the wrong way was to actually accuse of Roderick in setting up the suppliers with the police when the paperwork shows otherwise. Too bad. Y'all come up with better story, goofies. The overt acts alleged in the pending indictment include Joel Villegas traveling from Laredo, Texas to Memphis, Tennessee on 2 occasions in November of 1998 to deliver large amounts of marijuana to Roderick Kelly and defendant in exchange for large cash payments. Docket number 15. After both deliveries, Villegas transported the money back to Laredo. Additionally, this section of the indictment refers to a transaction on December 3rd, 1998, in which approximately 1,200 pounds of marijuana were transported from Laredo to Memphis and were delivered to Kelly. At that time, Kelly was holding $63,000 in cash that was to be used to pay for the marijuana. Under the heading Manner and Means, the pending indictment alleges that the defendants arranged for others to transport illegal proceeds and drug profits earned from the distribution of bulk quantities of marijuana to the defendants and others involved in the conspiracy from Memphis, Tennessee, and other localities within the United States to locations in Laredo, Texas. Docket number 15. See now who was the real Craig Petty's, not that fake story that was put on. Craig was one of their other people they mentioned, Hot, put on the game. Why is the town of Laredo so important in the whole Memphis crew story? Stay tuned to our channel to find out the full story and how Hot and his right-hand man met La Barbie and how their operation got started. Only on Justice for Dolph Goofies, the realest channel on planet Earth. Let's get into what happened next after Hot was facing 40 years in 1999 and how he got out so early. I am about to show the world the paperwork first, so the sabotagers wouldn't own the story being old news when they planned to smear names. I am the coldest chess player, and Hot, you need to send me a crypto donation for defending your name instead of giving you Govan's treatment. Laughing out loud. in the United States District Court for the Western District of Tennessee, Western Division. United States of America plaintiff versus Roderick Kelly, defendant. Order denying motion to amend or supplement section 2255 motion order denying motion under 28 U.S.C. section 2255 order denying certificate of appealability and order certifying appeal not taken in good faith. On May 20th, 2004, defendant Roderick Kelly, Bureau of Prisons registration number 14289-076, an inmate at the Federal Correctional Center, FCC, at Petersburg, Virginia, filed a motion 1 under 28 U.S.C. section 2255, seeking to set aside the sentence imposed for his convictions for violating 21 U.S.C. sections 846 and 922G. Procedural history. On March 16, 1999, a federal grand jury returned a 3-count indictment against Kelly in case no. 99-20071-L, charging him with conspiracy to possess approximately 1,002 pounds of marijuana with intent to distribute, in violation of 21 U.S.C. section 846 count. One.
Okay, y'all know we have to stop it and then start it back. Y'all make sure you all hit the like button, okay? We're doing a review of Justice for Dolph video. He's revealing Mr. Cold.
Aiding and abetting in the attempted possession of approximately 1,002 pounds of marijuana with intent to distribute, in violation of 21 U.S.C. section 846 count 2, and being a felon in possession of a weapon, in violation of 18 U.S.C. section 922G. Also on March 16, 1999, a federal grand jury returned a 4-count indictment against Kelly in case no. 99-20072-L, charging him with 1 count of conspiracy to possess approximately 1,221 pounds of marijuana with intent to distribute, in violation of 21 U.S.C. section 846 count 1. Aiding and abetting in the attempted possession of approximately 1,221 pounds of marijuana with intent to distribute, in violation of 21 U.S.C. section 846 count 2, possession of a firearm during and in relation to a drug trafficking crime, in violation of 18 U.S.C. section 924C, and being a felon in possession of a firearm, in violation of 18 U.S.C. section 922G. On July 22, 1999, Kelly pled guilty pursuant to a written plea agreement to all 3 counts of case no. 99-20071M.L. and counts 1 and 2 of case no. 99-20072M.L. This court conducted a sentencing hearing on September 14, 1999, at which time the government filed a motion for a downward departure under United States Sentencing Guidelines, USSG, Section 5K 1.1. The court granted the motion, sentencing Kelly to 21 years or 252 months imprisonment on counts 1 and 2 of case no. 99-20071M.L, along with a 10-year or 120 month sentence of imprisonment on count 3, to run concurrently with the sentence on counts 1 and 2. The court imposed a sentence of 21 years or 252 months. Imprisonment on counts 1 and 2 of case no. 99-20071M.L, to be served consecutively to the sentence imposed in Case No. 99 to 20,071 ML2 judgment was entered on September 16, 1999. Kelly did not appeal. Subsequently, on September 5, 2000 and December 21, 2001, the government filed motions pursuant to Federal R. CRIMP 35 and 18 U.S.C. Section 3553, based on Kelly's continuing assistance and cooperation. On February 2, 2002, the United States District Judge Julia Gibbons granted the motions and imposed a sentence of 164 months imprisonment. The amended judgment was entered on February 27, 2002. Kelly appealed, contending that the court erroneously considered factors other than Kelly's cooperation in determining the extent of departure. The Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals dismissed the appeal for lack of jurisdiction based upon its lack of authority to review the extent of the departure. United States v. Kelly, number 02-5333, 6th Circle, July 17, 2003. Defendants Pro 1. SE motion raised the following claims. The district court should have granted a reduction for acceptance of responsibility under USSG Section 3E1.1. 2. The evidence was insufficient to sustain his convictions for drug trafficking and being a felon in possession of a weapon. 2. Prior to the downward departure, Kelly's sentencing range in both cases was 30 years or 360 months to life imprisonment. The court expressly denied a reduction for acceptance of responsibility pursuant to USSG Section 3E1.1 because Kelly continued to engage in his drug smuggling enterprise after his arrest on December 3, 1998, and stopped only when he was arrested for the second time on March 2, 1999. 3. The sentence was based on an unconstitutional amendment to the indictment. And 4. The government breached the plea agreement by failing to give Kelly full credit for his extensive cooperation. Okay, the document has 17 pages. We will only read these 3 and additional 1 after giving you a summary, what we just read. We will upload tomorrow narration of all 17 pages if you are curious about the details. Because we do not need to go further than this today, or the video will be boring as hell. Before we get into some more exclusive information, let's summarize the first 3 pages. What makes this case especially interesting isn't just the guilty plea. It's what happened after it. According to the federal court record, Mr. Kelly didn't just admit guilt. Prosecutors formally told the judge that he provided what the law calls substantial assistance. That's a specific legal term, and it carries serious weight in federal court. After his plea, the government filed a motion under Section 5K 1.1 of the federal sentencing guidelines. That kind of motion is only filed when prosecutors believe a defendant has given meaningful help in investigations or prosecutions. Help that benefits the government's cases. It's not automatic. It's not routine. Prosecutors must personally stand behind it. Because of that motion, the judge sentenced Kelly below the normal federal guideline range. In other words, he received a reduced sentence specifically tied to his cooperation. But the story doesn't end there. The same court record shows that prosecutors later filed additional sentence reduction motions, known as Rule 35 motions. These are even more telling. because they're filed after sentencing and are based on continued cooperation. The government stated that Kelly kept assisting agents even after his conviction and initial sentence. As a result, his prison term was reduced again. So what we're seeing here is not speculation, not rumor, and not secondhand claims. It's documented directly in federal court filings. Prosecutors credited him more than once for ongoing cooperation and asked the judge to reward it with less prison time. And that's why this matters. In the federal system, sentence reductions tied to cooperation are one of the clearest official indicators that a defendant provided useful information or assistance. Judges don't invent these reductions on their own. They happen because the government requests them and explains why. So when you read these motions in the record, you're seeing the paper trail of cooperation, acknowledged, recorded, and rewarded in court. That's the significance of what we just uncovered in this case. Now the most important and shocking page. An ineffective assistance claim based on counsel's failure to raise a particular defense requires, as a threshold matter, a showing that the defense is meritorious. Kimmelman versus Morrison, 477 U.S. 365, 382, 1986. Kelly alleges that even though he committed a second offense, while the first offense was out there, he continually accepted his responsibility not only in the first case, but in the second case as well. Kelly immediately both times gave confessions, corroborated, and he still continued to cooperate with the Drug Enforcement Administration Special Agent Abel Collins. His cooperation was very fruitful to the government. Kelly entered a guilty plea when the government requested him to. He did not at any time cause the government to need to prepare their cases for trial against him. It was made clear to the government that Kelly chose to cooperate and admit and accept responsibility and agreed to plead guilty. Yes, he got caught with his hands in the cookie jar the second time. It was still fact that the government needed his help and the government agreed to allow him to cooperate. He had been very productive to the government not only in cases in Memphis, Tennessee, but also in helping 2 DEA agents from the San Antonio, Texas office Special Agent Jeff Atkinson and Scott Hanton, and the San Antonio AUSA Gregory D. Anderson. Kelly's motion, pages 8 to 9. Kelly further contends that he is entitled to the point reduction because he meets the criteria of Section 3E1.1. Defendant was arrested for his drug trafficking activities in case No. 99 to 20,071 on December 13, 1998. Although Kelly began cooperating with federal agents by providing information about the transportation of marijuana from Texas to Tennessee, he continued to engage in his drug smuggling enterprise and did not provide information about a delivery in February of 1999, which resulted in his arrest on March 2nd, 1999, and subsequent
Hey,
charges.
Tony. Hey, Rose.
God damn. Mr. Cold is real damn cold. Just wow. That boy went as far as informing on San Antonio. I wonder who was in San Antonio. The sad thing is, his right-hand man cooperated too. Let me give you a summary and conclusion of what we just read before we move on. Damn Mr. Cold. There's another critical moment in the court record. And it appears deeper in the ruling on page 11, where the judge gives a more complicated view of Kelly's cooperation. The court acknowledges that Kelly did, in fact, begin working with federal agents and providing information about marijuana trafficking routes between Texas and Tennessee. That confirms he was actively giving intelligence to investigators. But the judge then points out something that changes the tone completely. According to the court's findings, even while Kelly was cooperating, he continued participating in drug trafficking activity. The record states that he failed to inform agents about a specific drug delivery, a shipment that later led directly to his arrest. So while prosecutors credited him with assistance and even filed sentence reduction motions, the judge made it clear that this cooperation was not clean or complete. It came with contradictions. In plain terms, the court is saying Kelly helped, but he also kept operating in the same criminal pipeline during that time. That detail matters because it explains why the court refused to give him the full acceptance of responsibility credit that defendants often receive when they truly stop their criminal conduct and fully come clean. For viewers, this is where the story becomes more complex. It's not simply cooperation equals leniency. It's cooperation mixed with continued criminal behavior, and a judge calling that out directly in the record. This page shows the tension between what prosecutors reward and what judges ultimately believe deserves full credit. When did he actually get out after facing 25 to life in 1999? According to his Facebook, it looks like he was getting out in November of 2013. He did some time, but damn, he got out the life in prison. Unfortunately, he did it by cooperating. Now that we have established his timeline, let's ask goofy ChatGPT to go over Craig Petty's timeline so we can compare how both cases were developing simultaneously. AI talking about. Here's a timeline of key events from the issuance of federal warrants for Craig Petty's through his arrest and prosecution, as documented in public sources. Timeline. Warrant and arrest of Craig Petty's. 2001 to 2002, federal indictment and warrant issued. After discovery of large cocaine shipments linked to his organization in the summer of 2002, a federal grand jury returned an indictment against Petty's, charging him with drug trafficking and related crimes. Petty's fled to Mexico to evade arrest. A federal arrest warrant was issued in connection with the indictment, including superseding charges by 2007, to apprehend Petty's for drug trafficking and violent crime offenses. August 2004, U.S. Marshals 15 Most Wanted. Petty's was formally added to the U.S. Marshals Service's 15 Most Wanted Fugitives list, elevating priority to capture him. He was also featured on America's Most Wanted to aid public leads. 2002 to 2007, fugitive in Mexico. Petty's remained a fugitive in Mexico under cartel protection. During this period, law enforcement continued to pursue the federal arrest warrant and monitor his activities. January 10th to 15th, 2008, capture and arrest. Petty's was captured on January 10, 2008, in Santiago de Querétaro, Mexico, after Mexican police and military raided his residence following international coordination. After his capture in Mexico, Pettis was deported to the United States, where U.S. federal agents formally arrested him in Houston pursuant to the outstanding federal warrant and indictment. Some DOJ summaries list the arrest as January 15th, 2008 in Querétaro. December 2009, guilty plea sealed. Pettis secretly pleaded guilty to racketeering, murder in aid of racketeering, and other federal charges connected to the earlier indictment. The plea was sealed at the time. The real questions to be answered are: did Mr. Cold cooperate against Craig, La Barbie, Sinaloa cartel, or even contributed to raid of Martini Room in 2004? If you hear Martini Room for the first time, go to my video about Lambert McDaniels. Where was Harry to break the news on Roderick Kelly? Nowhere. Roderick just didn't have enough and was ready to revive his empire as soon as he got out, like Phoenix rising from the ashes. The greatest gift of freedom he took for granted. If you have seen Howard Barnett video, you would know he was the main plug for weed again since he got out all the way until he got arrested for drugs. This time it was 5 kilos of cocaine. Let's check out this news article. Boy, I am fucking up all the blogs by publishing everything that is on Google. So I can be the only one with more information that it is on Google, completely ruining videos of any retarded, govern-biased, and Dolph disrespectful vulture bloggers. Memphis, Tennessee. A total of 34 individuals have been sentenced after a 2-year investigation known as Operation Gangster's Paradise, conducted by the Organized Crime and Drug Enforcement Task Force, OCDETF. Members of the drug trafficking organization have been sentenced to federal prison for drug and money laundering violations. D. Michael Donovan, U.S. Attorney for the Western District of Tennessee, announced the sentences today. According to information presented in court in 2016, the Memphis Division of the Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, began investigating a drug trafficking organization responsible for distributing cocaine, heroin, and marijuana in the Memphis area. This led to several multi-defendant indictments involving a variety of narcotics and money laundering charges. On today's date, the final defendant was sentenced. Below is a list of those indicted, the charges for which they were convicted, and the sentences imposed. Roderick Kelly, 44, conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute cocaine on August 5, 2019. U.S. District Court Judge Cheryl H. Lipman sentenced Kelly to 46 months for years supervised release. Mr. Cold, aka Hot Rod, did all that time until about couple of weeks after Govan got arrested in 2022 for young Dolph's murder, meaning he did not have to cooperate this time. However, he did cooperate with Govan on a straight drop deal per our The Memphis Crew video, and per his own snitching confirmation, looking all defeated, because I was the first one to drop that exclusive information.
Okay, I think I have to stop the video and not play it all the way through. Now make sure y'all hit the like button. Like I said, this is Justice for Dolph work. Revealing Mr. Cole. Like, this is my first time ever hearing this person's name. Like, I never heard of a Robert Kelly. Is this his name, Robert Kelly? Lord, he got R. Kelly name. From what I can take, Mr. Cold is just from looking at this video, and I guess this is allegedly, but according to Justice for Dolph, and I'll say allegedly because I don't know, but according to Justice for Dolph, Mr. Cold is the person that was the one with the money. Like he was the one that like funded, like I guess the dudes in the hood went to when they needed to borrow money and stuff. That's I've been like walking around and kind of doing my hair and stuff, but I've been listening. Like that's what I get from what I hear.
CMG don't have the power in Memphis. We do.
Who is we?
The group of people that are for the good, for the good of mankind in Memphis.
What's up, Hilda?
Sometimes I be bored and want to assist my favorite Memphis, Snitch Hernandez, Govan, by encouraging him to hate and block me per usual. When I start sending him his own secrets, I be doing shit like this. Remember when in Lil Flip's video, I posted the first part of the message laughing at him for breaking up with his Houston boyfriend and told you he blocked me again? Well, here goes the rest. I told him this from a burner account because he dodging me ever since I exposed him when he played in my comments how he shot that guy who ran off with Hot's money. Actually, better say his investment in a gas station. I told Govan stop bullshitting and drop Lil Flip's DMs because I am not coming back later on adding it in the video. And that if I heard that Lil Flip beef with T.I. chain snatching story one more time, I would hang myself. He told me, who cares? So I told him, Roderick, Kelly does. Little Goomba from Super Mario franchise told me, who is that acting all slow after begging me to tell him, whereas his OG years ago in my comments. You got that earlier in this video, that scene I show Hot for the first time. So I sent the rat a picture of them standing next to each other and told him I think it is him. But I am not an expert. Immediately blocked me like his name is Mario Mims or Devin Steele.
Hey,
Do y'all want to see more pictures of Govan and his main sponsor Roderick Kelly? You better have stickers of name Hot Rod on your every live show like in sports, how much that man sponsored you and ain't made no money. If Hot links up with me, I would make him hundreds of millions. You too slow for all that. How you trap with Craig Petties and Roderick Kelly, and the third one, and Mr. Ian and Evlon, and you end up broke on Bradley Street taking hits for hire, hating on Dolph every time he drops a new project. Boy, get the fuck out of here, you a real failure. It really takes a special talent not to end up filthy rich with those plugs.
Lord have mercy.
I hope Mr. Cold is real proud of his snitching devil-ass best friend who ruined the future of Memphis by taking out one of the only shining lights of positivity in the city called Young Dolph. I hope he is not ashamed at all being put right next to the biggest woman beater in Memphis history who done put out at least 3 hits on people's moms and threatened to one of his daughters and choke out the other one. Is this your best friend, Mr. Cold? Are you proud of yourself to fuel and finance the biggest loss to the city of Memphis and have this rat running around still tarnishing his legacy? It is equally your fault for helping him. You chose him over your city and the future. All that good shit you did for people, Govan managed to fuck that up too. Is this your best friend?
Honey, we don't do that around here. Come out of here with all that mess. Don't let me find out you messing around with no drug dealer.
My young bitch, she thinks she Trina. She swears she the baddest. A good girl can't wait to give a drug dealer them panties. Yeah, all the pretty bitches love drug dealers. All the pretty bitches love drug dealers. Mama told her stay away from the drug dealers, but she fell in love with a drug dealer. Hey, all the pretty bitches love drug dealers. All the ratchet bitches love drug dealers.
It's something because I went through the academy with her, and she was always real, like laid back, head real level headed. She had real thick skin, like she was a real cool person. That's something. Um, but her girlfriend, because that was like in the early 2000s, like 2000, maybe like 5 or something like that. Her girlfriend was her girlfriend used to come up there even then for lunch.
All the savage bitches love drug dealers. Yeah, all the pretty bitches love drug dealers.
I know she was
Well,
a
this is
real,
awkward.
just like a
No
real
pun
level-headed,
intended.
cool
Meet
person.
Virginia Awkward,
Chocolate.
Quet's and Evlon's best friend, Anne, Roderick Kelly's ex-girlfriend. Guess who else's? She was Mr. Ian's girlfriend in high school before she joined law enforcement. Wow. So you are telling me, Justice Fordolf, that Govan and the rest of them in the Memphis crew indeed have a fine MPD homegirl who they dealing with? Yes, that's what I said. And also the one who been covering for the entire crew. She was on that MPD TV show called Policewoman of Memphis or something like that. She has retired recently. She was never the lead investigator, but most definitely been sabotaging Thurman Richardson every step of the way since she was with Hot when he got out and continued his drug operation. You think his girlfriend didn't notice his house is full of drugs? You think she don't know about whole lot of bodies? You gotta be a complete retard not to think she was one of their insiders in the period she was dating Hot. On that picture with Evlon, she looks so damn delicious. Too bad she is into women now and married to a female.
She was into women
Justice
then.
Fordolf didn't have a chance to get his turn. I would join the crew if that's the requirement to take one of my favorite cougars in Memphis on a date. More on Ms. Virginia and Evlon in their belonging chapters in the documentary. Where Lil Carla at? She not the only one fell in love with a drug dealer. Mr. Hot got some explaining to do about this one and her to internal affairs and the people in whose cases she was getting intervened covering for her drug trafficking buddies with damn cartel ties. Now, we getting to my favorite part of the evening. I can't wait to expose this snake-face feminine Adrian, who spends more time in the mirror than an IG model stroking his ego. Let me tell you first, who is he and how the story goes. So T.I., when he wasn't snitching, he did some time and met this sucker Adrian. T.I. got beef with 50 Cent over multiple things, including Big Meech. So these two geniuses came up with an idea to screw 50 Cent over by getting rights to Craig Petty's movie about 10 years ago to counter his BMF documentary. However, in this process, T.I. did not understand what was Lil Pussy Adrian's personal agenda. You see what Adrian did. He'd been around all these people since high school, and out of all females, he impregnated Hot's right-hand man high school sweetheart, and ever since they got smoke. I call Hot's right-hand man the real Mr. Real Estate, Pete taking the nickname from that sucker Jay, who couldn't wait to take pictures with Bass Pro Hat, sending shots at Dolph 3 days after he died when they released the pictures of shooters. More on that clown in the documentary. Well, I took his nickname and gave to the rightful owner since Hot's right-hand man who continued the pipeline when Hot got picked up, and that boy is a beast in real estate. He had over 100K in 11th grade and was the one who invested in Curtis Givens' first nightclub with dope money. Curtis been holding dope and money for him, so Curtis is technically in the crew, even though that sounds embarrassing. Anyway, Adrian crossed him, and since they got an issue, Adrian Goofy has planned to tell entire Craig Petty story wrong, completely excluding this second legend, the real Mr. Real Estate.
All these
I got to find that out and
all
how they
that
will
and
use
running
Craig
around
Petty's
just
movie.
corrupt
So I am
and
cooking up a counter
affiliated
for
with it,
his
yeah.
and TIS. See this guy Marcus in green shirt. He is Howard Barnett's best friend and stuck between all these conflicts and agendas trying to navigate it. T.I. Goofy knows Mr. Cole.
We have to stop it every now and again. Yeah, because another Memphis vlogger got on my panel a couple years ago and said that Big Boogie got a girl that worked for the Memphis Police Department that tells them each and every time that they are setting up traffic stops so they'll know what days to traffic in their drugs. And I believe it.
They do trade stocks together, them two and Marcus. They putting big money in. So when you see Govan going at T.I. telling him how his history with that snake with personal agendas Adrian supersedes T.I. meeting him in prison, he wasn't lying. Adrian been close with entire crew, including Evlon, since high school times. What T.I. needs to do is call Roderick Kelly to get on Govan ass for disrespecting him online. That's who got power and ownership over Govan. Adrian can't make Govan do shit. Is he stupid? I am going to get on TIS eventually because he never once spoke up for his fellow Atlanta resident Young Dolph and call suckers out. That's why T.I. is a real sucker in my eyes. What an embarrassment to the city that also loves Dolph. Now we all know why goofy balding T.I. don't dare to call nobody out, because he is mingling with all these people. It's fuck Dolph when it comes to T.I. Anyway, so between Adrian and T.I., then Govan, and then me, it's a complete wacky racist situation out here who now going to have the first documentary. It is about who is going to have the best documentary. And none of these clowns can fuck with me. Somebody tell 50 Cent he wants to screw over T.I. for him playing this move and plotting for years, linking up with Omar Epps. 50 needs to reach out to Justice for Dolph immediately and get on my team. Do not do a documentary with Govan. It will only bite you back in the ass because all these people work together. I've been telling the crew members how Adrian do work with Govan and Gotti on this whole move to fuck up the stories of two biggest legends in drug trafficking history, Mr. Cold and Mr. Real Estate, by trying to make it look like Craig met La Barbie when he was breaking into people's cars. Get the fuck out of here, Adrian, with that fake shit. Craig met La Barbie through Hot and his right-hand man. And now makes sense why you pushing this story, because dumbass T.I. believes that shit. I hope that Fed Govan takes his chain again. Just hide your wife T.I. Govan not going to do you how Floyd did ya. The first thing he will do is threaten your mama and then beat up your wife per usual. All these goofies working together still can't fuck with me. Watch how I'm going to ruin that big budget T.I. and Adrian aka Dumb and Dumber been collecting all these years. And 50 Cent, you need to work with me because I am about to show you Flip and Govan how to properly beef with T.I. and this sucker Adrian. Boy, I got nuclear bombs on the way. The Diddy series you did 50 will be old news by the time I am done with these clowns. Goofy ass Adrian, check this shit out too. Check out this moron. I knew it, I was right telling certain crew members how based on what I found out Adrian has to be working with Gotti and Rock Nation too, since Gotti is trying to play chess with Mr. Cold. And here goes this dumbass Adrian in 2018 shooting another documentary with Rock Nation around the time Gotti was announcing CMG movies or some shit like that, which never came through. Little Snake talking about when Rock Nation and Tidal insist I be placed in front of the cameras instead of behind the scenes. Do you all see now what I see, dear Mr. Real Estate? Justice for Mr. Real Estate. Today, you get your good karma back. And have me going at Adrian. Want to see more? But first, I know you will love this shit. Let's put some paperwork of this complete idiot up on the screen. Salute, Mr. Real Estate. I know all the pretty bitches don't love this drug dealer. Check out Dumber Jim Carrey as drug dealer from Dumb and Dumber, Adrian Broom, on November 14th, 2003 at approximately 6 p.m. Goofball did sell approximately 1 pound of marijuana to a cooperating individual working with law enforcement. That gotta be Quet or somebody of his kind. Not only Adrian started whole shit over a female because he wanted his partner's high school sweetheart, but he got caught selling a whole pound to undercovers. Man, this idiot made the whole operation hot for everybody. They probably brought him to 201 Poplar, and he started crying, giving up Craig Petty's exact GPS coordinates in Mexico. What a goofy. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Thanks for coming, y'all. Salute Mr. Cold, and don't forget.
Hey, man. Whatever I'm on, hot rod on.
Niggas been knew about it. It ain't no secret. I stand on it. Ain't no nigga gonna do nothing about it. And it is what it is.
With no labor. Young fly nigga. High nigga. Fucked your bitch and told her bye nigga. No lie nigga.
Well, that was interesting. I'm gonna have to go back and look at it again because I was walking around. But for what I could hear, it was interesting. So what do you all think? Hey, TB21. So everybody that was in here, what is you all's analysis on it? She said it explains the mayhem. Mm. Yeah. Somebody said that to me that it's way deeper than what one would think. It's something because I think some of these vloggers get themselves caught up in things that's going to, because see, some of these vloggers are just vloggers, but they're hackers and they pay to hack and get people's information. And so you got more and more criminals that are getting involved. And these vlogs, they do anything for money. they're gonna have themselves caught up in a lot of. They got probably already got themselves caught up in a lot of criminal investigations. Because you have to think, if you are a hacker, you know how to hack, and you're selling people's information to anybody. More criminals are becoming vloggers. You giving them access to your hackers and shit. I mean, a lot of these folks ain't going to jail, but they're gonna be looking at some heavy charges. Um, I've always said, and I say this for a reason: why would a person want somebody's personal information? Okay, and I've said from the very start. I've been saying this for 2 years. Um, the takedown on YouTube is going to be way bigger than what happened on Backpage. On Backpage, it was like sexual conspiracies and things of that nature, pedophilia. There's a lot of that going on here, but you got a lot of murderers that are on here. Okay. And for some reason, some of these regular vloggers that want to be gangsters, but that has been on here, that knows how to get information, they just selling it for money. They're gonna be caught up in a lot of these. They are some of them are already caught up in a lot of these investigations. And I don't give a fuck. I'm glad. A lot of them need to disappear off of here. Once they start going to jail, okay, I think YouTube, if the YouTube is not totally destroyed later on. Because if I'm not mistaken, as you see, they're already starting to put more and more stuff in place, right? Supposedly more policies. It- I'm trying to decide if I should say this. Um, there's a rumor that and I tend to think just regular vloggers do a lot of bullshit. And they get, when you have to think about when people come into a chat and they start giving out information, they're not just regular people. Oftentimes, a lot of times they just blend in. You got so many emotional freaks that have like I guess the mentality of like whoever the people was that did what they did to Jeremiah, right? So I guess what they do is, because trust me now, they try and they've never outright threatened me. It wouldn't be wise, but um, I've had people to send me emails and stuff, real weird emails, right? I guess they think they can't be traced if they send it from a one of those burner phones. That's how dumb they are, right? But you have to think about, like, sometimes people that be in these chats, and they come into these chats and they just kind of blend in, and they're very knowledgeable, right? And so what I do know is that, they tell you to use a VPN, right? Now they know how to dox VPNs. They know how to dox them. And so I'm talking about these damn trolls, right? Some of these vloggers that's got channels. And so they like to illegally sell information, right? And so when you type into the chat, if you don't have a VPN, like your phone or whatever, you type it from your phone, they're able to get your VPN. Those that know how to hack. That's the reason why you see them messing with my chat sometimes. They send packages. It's a lot of shit that they do. Okay. It's a lot of stuff that they do. I don't say nothing because you have to continuously. You just have to let them do it because you just have to let them do it. Okay. And trust me, there is a method behind that madness. And so what they do is they give the information to the criminals that have posted up on YouTube. And I got to ask somebody today, the vloggers that have made their hackers accessible to the criminals that are on YouTube, what kind of charges are they going to be looking at too? Is it accessory? Okay. I'm gonna ask that person that's working on that today if they'll tell me. But oh, okay. So, anyways, um, so when you see people and they come in here or they come in any chat, not just in here, maybe who knows who they are? They might be just blending in, and they might seem knowledgeable about stuff. They might have a lot of information. Um, um, you never know who those people are, right? So, they're in a chat and they just pop into a chat and people go, dog, that person seem knowledgeable about a lot of stuff. Their mind never says to them, no telling who that is. Maybe I need to see, if they are criminals, okay, their mind tells them I need to reach out to this vlogger that's got hackers so that we can get the person information. Okay. So we can get that person's information. You don't even know if that motherfucking person is a undercover FBI agent. You know what I mean? And so they think they got that person's information because no law enforcement officer is going to have their information linked directly back to them because they already know how they do it on this motherfucker. Okay. So they set up fake pages and shit all of the time. They know how to make their own VPNs. They know how to do their own IP addresses and all that shit. So what they do is, okay, when you got a stupid motherfucker, okay, just like they did Jeremiah Taylor, maybe. Okay, when they was telling him to stop, Jeremiah was not in law enforcement though. And I'm not saying that any of these people are, but so they think they have their information. They want to make them think I can find you anywhere, and so they start sending them pictures of weapons. I guess I saw you in this chat, and you seem to be knowledgeable. Stupid motherfucker, you thinking it's just probably a regular citizen, okay? And I'm just speaking in general. One of they was able to solve young dogs case. See, it all seems like the same pattern. One of the ways that they was able to solve young dogs case because JoJo Splat and them was jumping on here, threatening people. When they got on here and threatened me, and I was just first started vlogging on the case, hell, I was even neutral. They was waiting and they traced them back so quick. It traced back to JoJo Splat and them little Cam. What JoJo Splat them at? What happened? Okay. What they at? Okay. And so, and I'm sure they was trolling. I'm sure they was trolling. But I said all that to say this, it goes really deep. I don't really know what these people expect. I would think because they so damn stupid. Even if they ain't living in Memphis. Okay. They said, Tamara, you straight never hack. You most definitely act justice for Dolphin Govan. So, I mean, you have to be careful about when you're sending threats to people. When when you think you're threatening people, y'all don't know who these folks are. You don't ever know. But I mean, I guess that's the point, though. I guess keep doing it though. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. More than the criminals, I'm real glad that a lot of these vloggers who know damn well that they ain't made for jail is going to jail. Okay, the ones that have made given access to a lot of these other people have been giving out people's information and has been giving them access to the hackers. More than anything, I'm glad they ain't made for jail, and I'll be so glad when they go. More than the damn criminals, the real, because they're criminals too. But I'm talking about the dangerous ones. But they're dangerous too, though. Anyways, you guys, all of that was interesting. He said, reason y'all not seeing Govan post lately. Think about it. I think he be posting on Facebook somehow and this is for real. I was on Facebook. Y'all know I'm old fashioned. Govan's posts for some reason, and I'm not subscribed to him or nothing on Facebook. It comes right into my sometimes his post will come into my chat. I'll look up and he will have posted something and it be in my Facebook chat. I don't follow him or nothing. And I see Facebook do that quite a bit with certain people. But yeah, I think that it runs deep. I don't really know how deep it runs, but I guess I'm starting to understand more of why the case is not closed, right? I think we thinking about it's a lot of generic stuff like, okay, well, we know, you know, maybe it's this and that, but I guess we're understanding a little bit more about why the case is not closed, because it does run deep. It does, I guess. So I guess if I had to guess, and I don't know what happened to Juke. If I had to guess, I would say that Juke wasn't killed because of what he did to Young Dog. Maybe it was like the people that came into my chat said it was some street stuff. I don't know. But who knows though? It could have been related to that. I don't know. It's interesting though. It is. But this young man that they just showed, Hot Rod, I'd never heard of him. Um what was I ready to say? Somebody had said to me when it was talking about Mr. Cold, they told me I believe that Mr. Cold is possibly somebody named Bobby Cold. And I've never heard of a Bobby Cole. And I never heard of a Bobby Cole. Okay, that's what somebody said to me. And that person was a law enforcement officer. It's like I believe that they might be talking about a guy named Bobby Cole. That's kind of why I threw out a hint the other day. I said I never heard of a Cole. Is it spelled Cole? It's like no, but this. I mean, the name is totally um, different. Nutbush says people been saying Hot Rod and Govan was sleeping with each other. Now that I see, oh Lord Jesus, Lord, I tell you. I don't know who. I've never heard of a Hot Rod. I never. I'm sure, probably police know who he is. I've never heard anybody mention him ever in my life. Never. So, well, you know what? If I'm not mistaken, the other day in my chat, somebody came into my chat, if I'm not mistaken, and said something about a hot rod. Maybe was it like it was one of it wasn't the chat from yesterday, the day before yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody came into my chat and mentioned a hot rod. I do believe. I'm almost sure of it. I can't remember what they said. They came into my chat and mentioned a hot rod. Paul Dual said, "Ask Mr. N who he is." Did they say he was affiliated with Petty's? Did they say he was affiliated with Craig? Was it Stan G? Okay, it could have been Stan G. Somebody sure. It wasn't the chat from yesterday. It was the chat from the day before that, I do believe. Paul says Mr. N knows who he is. Okay. Drop the link. We got 10 minutes. This is interesting. I hate I gotta get out in the field. Cypress, I'm getting ready to send it to you. Make sure you come on up. We got 10 minutes. I I would think that this is a mixture of like street stuff. I don't know if all of this would have anything to do with Young Dolph. Maybe because I pick up on these are street dudes that might be beefing with each other about a plethora of things. Not necessarily because I'm trying to figure out where Young Dolph comes in this. How is Young Dolph inserted into this? How would Young Dolph be inserted into this? I like for things to be made clear to me. I don't like to make assumptions. I wonder if Justice for Dolph probably sleep. I wonder if because if Justice for Dolph was awake and they would be in the chat. I wonder how Young Dolph would be inserted into this because I mean, yeah, Young Dolph would be inserted into this. Big G said the weed. Okay, so if he was inserted into it via the weed, okay, so how would his death though? Like, what would his death have to do with this? Because if I heard it right, wasn't Hot Rod supposedly when Young Dolph was unalive, wasn't Hot Rod in jail? Then they say he got out like 2 weeks after Govan went to jail or something. Or did I didn't hear it right. Paul Dual says Hot put in first album out. Okay. She said, remember what Dolph did prior to rapping. The document Justice for Dolph is not about uh, young Dolph. If so, Dolph was getting weed, Juke was getting cocaine, and remember, Juke was going to jail a lot. Gotta use his money. CMG is his too. Oh wow. Um, oh Lord Jesus. In the name of Jesus. You all, I didn't get a chance to get on my praying line today because I just looking at this, like it's definitely because I don't like to make assumptions. I like for things to be made clear. So it's got my brain um
Okay, you hear me?
yeah, you messing up though.
How about now?
Yeah, you good.
Yo, this is gonna get deep, y'all.
So what did you get from that?
It's I hope you don't get your head, homie, but I don't be mad at you. But hey, he exposing a lot. He exposing. You gotta have balls to do that. He exposing a lot. And a lot of people won't touch. He exposing a lot. Gotta give him that. He got balls still to do that. I don't think I would do it, but salute to him.
Your phone messing up. You all I heard you say, I don't think I would do it. You don't think you would do what?
I don't think I would do what he's doing for doing it.
You talking about that documentary?
Yeah, he bold for that. I don't know how he come up with what he come up with, but yeah.
Okay, you before I get out of here, I want to say a prayer. Maybe we'll continue this tonight, but I want to say a prayer. I'm so glad God. So this is Matthew. Y'all know I normally do my praying line. Go on Real Talk with Tamara. That is, we get on and say a 15-minute prayer every morning from 7 a.m. and we're off by 7:15. Okay. And we're off by 7:15. Okay. I got to get ready to get in the field, but um God took me to like Matthew 14 and 23. And it says, and when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up into a mountain apart to pray. And when the evening was come, he was there alone. After he had dismissed them, he went up on a mountain side by himself and prayed. And that speaks a lot about going into that. I think relates to going into your closet and praying and all of that. Let me see. Hold on, you all. I want to read this to you all. And the Lord said, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision down, make it plain on tablets, so that he may run who read it. Although it may tarry, it may surely come. The vision is for an appointed time. Okay. So I like that scripture in Habakkuk. We've been talking about prosperity, and that is God adding unto you. Okay. And to all of us, write the vision down, get a tablet, write the vision down, make it plain, meditate on it, pray in private, and then God will bless you openly. You don't necessarily have to tell. It's not even good to tell everybody what your prayers are. Like we come into the praying room and we don't know who these people are, but they say, you know, we come into agreement on their prayers because God says where two or three agree, he will be in the midst. This stuff here is really deep. I think I'm starting to get more of an understanding, I guess, of how big it is, because as I've always told you, I don't know everything. I guess I'm starting to understand, like, there are like emblems added on to this investigation that makes it bigger and bigger and bigger. If I'm not you know, if hey, I don't know. But anyways, dear God, I ask that you come before us. I ask that you forgive us of all of our sins, all the seen and unseen, all the known and unknown. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you right now in the mighty name of Jesus, God. I ask that you bless each and every one of us and our families, everybody that is on this live, that is in need, that has a sickness, that is sick in the mind, that is sick in the body. Dear God, if they have needs, if there is lack, dear God, I ask that you just give them overflow. You said that you came to give us life and give us life more abundantly. So we believe in for the add-on. We believe in for the prosperity. We believe that there will be no more lack. We just thank you right now. We're speaking wealth into the atmosphere. We will be wealthy. Our children will be wealthy. You'll honor the blessings of our ancestors, the covenant that they had with you, God. We thank you right now that you are a mighty God that can do all things but lie. I ask that you shield and protect us. We see that evil lurks, but we command that the enemy goes back to the pits of hell. We send all evil back to the pits of hell by the power of the Holy Ghost. Our children will rise up and call us blessed. We'll be able to leave legacies behind for our children. We know that that is the goal, God. I ask that you wake your people up and let them understand that they don't have to do murder and mayhem. But Lord, I know that you are a God of order. If they refuse to bow and obey, then God, they got to go, Lord, so that your people can prosper. We thank you right now, even in the Bible days, God, you were a God of wrath. If they refuse to listen, God, if they continue to do murder and mayhem and cause discomfort and evil to your people, God, then we know that they have to be eliminated in the mighty name of Jesus. Okay, Lord, we just thank you right now. And the blessings of the Lord is yes and amen. Y'all come into agreement with me. We send those prayers into the universe. God says that he can do all things with lie. His word shall not return void. It has to go and prosper. It has been an absolute pleasure. I love you all. Y'all be careful today, okay? Maybe we'll get back on tonight. I made an 8 on my legal exam. Okay. I made an 8 on it. I made an 8 on my essay, boo. I had 2. Okay. So I'm doing really good in my legal class. So that's a blessing. So y'all keep praying for me on that too, y'all. Okay. On one of them I made a 96. On one of them I made 10 out of 10, an absolute 100. Didn't miss not one. Okay. On a 50 question test, didn't miss not one. Okay. Anyways, you guys, I love you all. I'll talk to you later.